Welcome back to a new live Q&A. This is Mike with Mike's Drones and More, guys. So today is actually a little bit different. So normally I do the live Q&A every other week. I don't do it every week for everybody in general. So normally I do one Sunday for everybody, and then the other Sunday I do for the patrons only. And I actually already talked to all the patrons about this and got their okay and consent to do this. So basically, what we're doing is it's going to be a live Q&A, but what's going to happen is if I do see one of the patrons that post a question in my live Q&A, they get top priority, so above everybody else's questions, until we get, because we only got about 5 patrons total, so sometimes with their schedules, they can't always get on the live Q&A the same time I am, so that's why we're just going to open this up to everybody. But then again, just letting you guys know, hey Kite, how's it going? We're going to open this up to everybody, and then, like I said, if you're one of my patrons, you're going to get the top priority. Yeah, no, I'm not racing today. We didn't get home till close to 11 o'clock last night. We were at the Ducks Unlimited banquet, so we were pretty exhausted last night when we got home, and so that's the reason that I'm not racing. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my YouTube channel really quick, guys, so that way I can see who's in the chat and who's got questions for me and things like that. Okay, so some updates that are coming up here. I am working currently on my 5-inch build. This is the one that I ordered from Banggood. So you guys can see that I've already got all the ESCs wired up, except for these. I've got to hook these up to the flight controller. Got the flight controller wired up. I already did a pre-test with my battery. Everything, the motors come on, they make the sounds like they're supposed to, no smoke or anything like that, so we are good to go. So can't wait to finish up this build. What I'm waiting on is some standoff kits. So the standoffs, for some reason it didn't come into kit, so I ordered a whole huge that thing of standoffs, so that's coming in the mail here pretty quick. So somebody wanted a part list. Kite wanted a part list, so I'm using the Racer Star Racing Edition 2205 2600 kVs. These are the same that I run on my purple racing drone and the same that I run on my Space One FPV. I know they're cheaper motors, but I really like them a lot, and they've done good for me. So, and I'm going to be getting some racing motors from Kite next week, so that'll be kind of cool. And then for my power distribution board, I'm using the Maytech PDB. And for the ESCs, these are the Racer Star 20 amp ESCs. And then this is just the kit that this came with is just a SP Racing F3 board. It's an older board, but I like this board because I've got it on my purple drone as well. So yeah, I'll be definitely all right, Kite, have a good one. I'll see you later, buddy. So yeah, I'll be definitely using this one for sure, and then the motors I get from him I'll probably be using on the next build or the next one after that. I'm not quite sure, or I might be converting a couple drone builds or stuff like that. So that build video is coming next week. I should have it finished up by hopefully Wednesday. I'm hoping maybe I might be able to get out Wednesday, but probably more likely it'll probably come out Friday. And I am recording it on my video camera this time, so I've got the SD footage coverage or footage. It's on my computer, so I just gotta edit it and put it all together, everything like that. I'm still in the process of building it. Another one that I had to make a change on was this Tiny Whoop. The motors finally died on this little guy, so I had to buy some replacement motors. So the FPV footage from last week's race, or this week's race on Wednesday, you guys will see that tomorrow. So that's coming out, and let's see here. And finally got to race this little guy on Wednesday night too. So I kind of actually raced both. I started off with this one, then I switched to this one, and then I switched to this one because I wanted to get them both, because this one had the new motors and I wanted to break them in, and this one I hadn't raced before and I wanted to race it. So yeah, those are definitely both FPV footage will be coming out tomorrow. So so I'll answer questions in just a second. I promise I'll get to everybody's questions. I just want to get everything out of the way really quick first. So another huge big announcement that I wanted to share with everybody is that I am working with GearBest again. So they contacted me earlier this week, probably I think it was Sunday. No, Monday. Monday they contacted me, and my contact over there, and she asked if I wanted to do a review on a couple of items. And I really took it to heart, and I wanted to really basically see if I wanted to work with them again. So I went ahead and decided to go ahead and work with them again, but on a couple of terms. So the terms were basically that it's on my terms and that I'm only going to be reviewing items that I think you guys would be interested in, and hopefully not so much junk, you know, or like toy stuff. Not that the toy stuff is not fun and it's not cool to review. I love reviewing toy drones and stuff like that, but I'm really trying to get more into the professional side of it, of the builds and the racing drones and stuff like that. I still do my DJI stuff, and I've got a whole bunch of footage from the Ducks Unlimited banquet off my DJI Phantom that I used yesterday. So I hope I get that whole video together and everything like that and post that up there. Yep, exactly. So yeah, so I'm going to be working with them. So they're sending me, I'm not going to tell you what exactly, but they're sending me a new racing flight controller to do a review on, and they're sending me a new 5-inch racing drone frame as well, which is really cool. So, and I've got some motors on the way, and I've got some ESCs on the way. So I'll be doing another whole 5-inch build as well for the GearBest, and then I got my Banggood, and then once we get those done, guys, I'm actually going to do a versus video. I'm going to do a Banggood versus GearBest drone video, because I want to see how well their products face up to each other once they're actually built. So I think that's going to be a really fun and cool video to do. So yeah. Let's see, other updates. Yeah, so normally I would go racing today on Sunday, but because, well, obviously because it's Sunday, the weather is perfect outside for racing, and I wish I was out there racing, but unfortunately, we did the Ducks Unlimited banquet yesterday, so we basically, my wife and I, we volunteer at our local Ducks Unlimited chapter. If you guys don't know what Ducks Unlimited is all about waterfowl conservation. So basically what we do is we volunteer for our local chapter. We do the banquet. What the banquet does is it helps to raise funds to be able to buy wetlands for helping ducks, geese, all kinds of waterfowl. So it's a really good nonprofit organization, and we volunteer a lot of our time, give back to the community as well. So it's really good, and I love Ducks Unlimited. They're great people. It's a great organization. So and I'm a hunter myself, so I like to, you know, harvest, but I also like to give back at the same time. So that's kind of a cool thing to do. So yeah, so I think that's it for updates for me for the week. I got a new patch antenna in that I ordered for my goggles, and I've been testing it out, and I gotta tell you guys, I'm really happy about that. So I will hopefully do a review on that antenna coming up next week. Still working on the DVR one. I've just got so many things that I have to review, trying to build drones. So I'm trying to get these videos out as quick as I can. It's hard when it's just a one-man show. I don't have the team that I need to be able to do all this stuff. So, but hopefully I will be able to soon. I know we are coming up very, very, very soon on 4,000 subscribers. I think I just hit... let me check the site. Yeah, we just hit about 3,800 subscribers. So at 4,000 subscribers, of course, we'll do another drone giveaway. I don't know what I'm going to give away at 4,000. I've got some spares back there that I can definitely give away. And once we hit 5,000, guys, I'm going to do a really huge giveaway. But that's not going to be for a while because I'm not even at 4,000 yet. But once we hit 5,000, I'm definitely going to hit up some of the big companies, and I'm going to see if we can get a huge celebration for 5,000 subscribers and give it all away to you guys. So keep that in mind, and if you're not subscribed already to my channel, please subscribe to it. I appreciate that very much. So that's it for me on updates and things like that. Like I said, I didn't actually go drone racing this week just because we were super busy and I was extremely exhausted, so didn't have a chance to go out and do any racing. But hopefully this next week I will. They're going to be starting to do, since the weather's actually nice and we just did daylight savings here in Colorado, which is going to make the days longer, which is nice. I can actually get outside when I get home from work and do more testing and more reviews for you guys. So that is awesome. Very good. So let's go ahead and open it up to you guys. I'd like to try and, if we can, keep it as short as we can. It's my wife's birthday this weekend, so that's why I'm doing the live Q&A early this week. Normally I do it in the afternoons, but we're doing it in the morning because we got plans this afternoon. So we'll try and keep this short and sweet, and we'll get to everybody's questions here. So let me go ahead and scroll back up to the top. So Kite was already in and he went back to work, so he is already there. Jeremy Mangus, I hope I didn't mess up your name. So Jeremy Mangus wants to know, how many different drones do I have, big and little? Okay, so let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, working on 4. I'll have 5 5-inch drones. I've got 2 tiny whoops, and actually no, 3 tiny whoops. The 75 counts as a tiny whoop. And then I've also got 1 micro as well. So hopefully in the future, soon here, I'll be working on another build for another 2 to 3 inch build. I just haven't decided what I want yet. I have the frame in mind, what I want to build. So that will be coming not for a few weeks at least. So, but yeah, so drone review man of all drones. He said, I'm going to be buying a Whoop next week. Just want a brushless one. They are coming out with one soon. So yeah, there's lots of options to buy brushless Whoops. There is one that Beta FPV makes, and it's kind of similar to this frame. So this is the 75 millimeter frame. This is just the brushed motors, but they do make the 85, and that's the brushless motors. And I think they make the, I think it's the Beta FPV 65 brushless Whoop as well. So yes, this is a Whoop. So yeah, so those are pretty cool. And I'm hoping, actually, I want to build a brushless Whoop too. So that's kind of cool. So we'll go back to the next question here. Oh, so yeah, did GearBest? Yeah, so GearBest contacted me. I've actually been working with GearBest for almost about a year now. I kind of stopped doing GearBest reviews for a while there, but I've come back to GearBest now, so I can kind of do a few more little reviews here and there with them. So I do still work with them. I work with any company that's willing to work with me, so which is awesome. So let's see, Daniel Elson, what's my favorite RC car? So I don't have a favorite RC car. I really don't. When I was younger, when I was back like 18 and 19 years old, I did a lot of RC car racing. So back then, my favorite racing car, I had a team associated buggy, and I had a team associated truck, and I also had a team associated slot. It's one of the ones that are really low to the ground, kind of looks like a NASCAR basically. So but I haven't done actually car racing in a long time. I've kind of wanted to get into it a little bit just to try it out, to see what's out there on the market now, because that was back in the 1990s when I was racing cars, and I'm sure the technology, I mean, I know the technology in the drones is huge, and I know so with the racing cars, I'm sure it's even better than it was back then. So maybe I'll try and contact GearBest and see if they can send a RC car my way, and maybe we can do a review or something like that. So you never know. Okay, so drone review had another question. He said, I'd like to work with someone, but I think you need a lot of subscribers. Yeah, you know, so working with somebody or one of the big companies, basically, yeah, you kind of got to get noticed out there. You got to really have a following. I would say don't try and contact anybody until you at least have a minimum of like 1,000 subscribers. Once you hit like 1,000 subscribers, then you can start contacting people. And once you get a following and you start getting some views on your videos and stuff like that, then start contacting like your local hobby shop. Maybe they can give you a discount, like 20% off, and then you'll say their name in like the video or something like that, or whatever, or sometimes they may just they do have reviewers that are watching YouTube all the time, so they may catch one of your videos and say, hey, we really like this guy, like to give him a chance, and they might send something your way. And that's kind of what happened with me with GearBest is I did contact them, and I told them, hey, I've got this many subscribers, I'd like to do this kind of stuff, and they just gave me a chance, which was cool. So, but yeah, definitely work with them. I mean, I like GearBest. They're pretty nice people. I like Banggood too. I like all the RC companies out there that have worked with me, so which is pretty nice. So let's see here. Next is I'm not sure how to say your name. It's Ujival, I think Ujival, aka. I don't even know if I said that right. But anyway, so hi, back to you as well. And so the Spark versus the Phantom, do a video of that. I don't have a DJI Spark. I do have a Phantom. So the main difference obviously is going to be that a Spark is going to be a lot smaller. It's going to be more of like a selfie drone. And the Phantom is going to be a much bigger drone. It's going to be for more video and photography. Not that the Spark can't take really nice video, but it has a stabilized gimbal. But when you go like this, the camera does not sit still. It sits still when you move forward and you move back, but not left to left. So it doesn't have that full 6-axis gimbal like the Phantom does. So that's the main thing like that. I wouldn't mind having a Spark just to get into those tight little spots. Sometimes you get like those big gigantic trees where you can't get in and get photos and stuff like that. So that would be really cool to try out. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see, the Flying Jersey, he said, I'm new to FPV freestyle quad. What are the main components in a stack? Okay, so that's actually a very good question, since you're new to FPV. And I'm building one right now, not a freestyle, but this is going to be a racer. Okay, so your main components for a drone build. So obviously you got your motors, and then you got your ESCs. So the ESCs control how fast the motors spin. So they talk to the flight controller, and the flight controller tells the ESC how fast to spin the motor, basically, and which direction and how fast and everything like that. So you're definitely, those are a couple of big components. Your next big one, depending on what stack you get, is a power distribution board. Power distribution board, this is where all the battery comes in and sends all the different electricity to the different parts of the board, including the flight controller. And then next, on top of the flight controller, this is your brain of the drone, okay? So this tells basically the drone, it tells it how fast to go, how high to go, where to go, everything like that. So think of your flight controller is like your CPU in a computer. It's like the brain of the computer. It basically is telling everything else where to go and what to do. Now the next part on a drone, on a stack, basically, and I'll bring this one because this one's fully built, is your VTX, all right? So what a VTX is, a video transmitter. So what your video transmitter does is that is the device that basically, so you got your camera in the front, your FPV camera sends the signal to the video transmitter. The transmitter then sends the signal out, and your goggles will catch that video, and that's how you fly with FPV. So those are some of the main components. I mean, the essentials that you need for every drone. You need some kind of power or power distribution board. Now, they have a lot of all-in-ones now that just have everything all in one, and that's kind of something that I'm looking into for a future build. Or you can build it individually. So it's kind of really how you want to build your drone. That's why I like drones so much, because they're so open source. You can build any kind of drone that you want in any format that you want. and that's pretty much the main components on a drone. All right, so let's see. So Daniel Elson wants to know, he says, I know it might sound dumb, but what's a whoop? Okay, so what's a whoop? So this is what's called a tiny whoop, okay? So a tiny whoop, I'll get you my big drone here just for comparison. This is a 5-inch drone, racing drone, and this is a tiny whoop, all right? So a tiny whoop is basically what it is. This is a palm-sized racer, okay? So it fits right in the side of my palm. It's got brushed motors, so these are not brushless motors. It typically has a small little camera on the front and a small VTX, and it uses inducted blades, right? So they're basically covered by these, right? And then it's got a flight controller underneath as well. So now this is kind of a custom tiny whoop. It's got the cockroach frame. It's got the special sauce motors, special sauce motors from Tiny Whoop. And then in here I've got a all-in-one VTX, which has got the camera, the VTX, and the antenna, and everything like that. So in this canopy I also ordered from tinywhoop.com. So if you want to know more about tiny whoops, go to tinywhoop.com. It's an actual site. It's here in actually Colorado, and tinywhoop.com is owned by Jesse Perkins. I've flown with Jesse. I've met Jesse. He's an awesome guy, and he is basically the inventor, creator of Tiny Whoop. So he basically knows everything there is to know about tiny whoops. He's done all kinds of interviews. I think he did one with Joshua Bardwell. He's been in the AMA magazine, everything like that. So he's a really good guy. And if you go to YouTube and just look up Tiny Whoop, he's got his own YouTube channel as well. And he's always posting stuff on there. He's got Tiny Whoop group on Facebook, so all kinds of stuff that you can definitely check out. So hope that helps out with that. So let's see here. Josh says, just got me a Traxxas A10. It's really fast for a big drone. What do you think about it? I haven't flown the A10 or the Atom. I'm not sure what it's called, but it looks like a pretty cool little decent drone. Nice little beginner drone. I don't know much more than that. That's about it. So let's see. Flying Jersey wants to know, King Kong ET-125 is a brushless whoop, and the ET-115. Okay, good to know. I know there's all kinds of people out there that are making brushless whoops now, so that's good. So what makes it a whoop? Okay, so what makes a tiny whoop a tiny whoop? So a tiny whoop is basically typically this frame, all right? It's if you look at the Fury Bee F36, if you look at the eSheen E010, they all typically have the same standard frame, and that's what makes it a tiny whoop, basically. So like I said, if you really want more information on it, go to tinywhoop.com and look up Jesse's got a whole video on Tiny Whoop, the story behind Tiny Whoop and everything like that. There's Tiny Whoop races all around the United States if you're interested in it. It's really fun. And it's really nice, especially during the wintertime when it's really cold and you can get out there and actually fly it, which is cool. All right, so Rick is one of my patrons, so we'll answer his question next. So Rick wants to know, do they make a brushless motors for the ProMark? And I know they make one for the SEMA X8, but the only problem with that is that they make a kit for it, but it only flies on the SEMA protocol, which is not the same as the Shadow Drones protocol. It's on a different protocol. They have it. So I don't know if you could put in a SEMA board into the controller for the ProMark. I don't even know if that would be worth it, honestly. And in my honest opinion, if you're going to spend the time and that money converting it over to a brushless drone, just spend the money and buy a brushless drone instead of converting it over. Like, you could get the Bugs 3 for like $120. You're going to spend $100 just on the brushless kit itself, and then you're going to spend countless hours on trying to get it to calibrate and everything like that. It's just going to be, honestly, in my opinion, it's going to be much more of a pain to try and convert it over to brushless than it would be to just buy a brushless drone. And that's just my own personal opinion. If you want to go through the project, I mean, there's people out there that have made YouTube videos on it. I am not going to go and do that at all, so that won't be something I'll ever do. So hope that answers your question. So let's see. Yeah, so Flying Jersey answered that question. The size and the look, basically, yeah. So it has to be 65. They do make larger whoops, 75s, but typically a typical tiny whoop is the 65 and uses the small brushed motors. Okay, so... and Dan says, thank you. You're very welcome. And Flying Jersey, you are welcome as well. And Daniel, all right, good to see you. Rick, understand, thank you. Makes sense. You're welcome, Mr. Rick. And thank you, as always, for your support. I appreciate that. So let's see here. So we're at like 25 minutes. So we'll keep the stream open for just a few more minutes if anybody has any questions. And then after that, I've got to get going for the day. Otherwise, my wife's going to kick my butt. So I promised her that we would do a quick Q&A and I wouldn't go over very far. So, but like I said, I've got a lot of things planned for the channel. Working on the build. I'm hopefully, don't plan on that video on Wednesday. Plan on it probably for Friday. So I got that coming in. I've got another racing flight controller coming in, so I'm going to do a review on that from GearBest. And I've got, okay, Rick, good to see you, and hope you have fun. Thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, so we got that drone coming in. Got another racing frame coming in. So once I build that one, we'll do a race off between the two brands and see which one performs a little bit better. Or maybe they're the same. I don't know. I'm not sure. So, and I might even take it out and let some of the other pilots try it out. I know, like UAV Futures Stu, he does that a lot. He'll give it to like what's his name? Grumpy. Is it Grumpy Trev? I think is his name. The one pilot guy, and then Crash Tests. I don't remember all their names. I watch his videos every now and then. I've got so many things that I can't remember everybody's name, and I have a horrible memory as it is. So, but yeah, and then I also ordered some new antennas as well. So, like I was saying, Grumpy Trev and Crash Test Cal. That's it. Yes. So I can never remember that other guy's name. And then what is it? Speed Gun Sally is the speed gun. I wish I had a speed gun because that thing's freaking awesome. But I ordered some new antennas. These are the Emax antennas I was talking about last week. If you guys remember on my live Q&A, how you should have a good set, or at least a set of left-hand antennas. So I ordered a set of left-hand antennas. So one is going to be, these are the Pagoda. So one's just for my drone, and then the other will be for my goggles. And then I also ordered a new patch antenna, and it can actually, depending on which side you want, you can do a left hand or a right hand, so which is really cool. So I think that's awesome. So I don't fly left hand all that much, but when I do, I've got the antennas, so that way I know I can swap them out really quick and get those. So that's really cool. So I'm super excited about that. I ordered another battery charger for my Tiny Whoop batteries, so I'll try somewhere to do a review on that thing. I've got so much stuff to do reviews on and trying to get all these videos out for you guys. So, but anyway, let's see. So Romy wants to know, where is a good site or forum, etc., to find whoop races in your area? Good question. So the easiest way you can do that is go to multigp.com. MultiGP is the drone racing league, and they have chapters all across America, and I think internationally as well. But all you got to do is go to multigp.com, and then let me pull up the site really quick, actually. And then I'll tell you exactly where to go. MultiGP Drone Racing League. Pull it up there. There we go. Okay, so when you go to the MultiGP Racing League website, just click on, up at the top, it says chapters. and you can click on View All Chapters. And what will happen is it'll actually bring up a page with all the chapters on it. And I think you can even go to the map view. So you can go to the list view or the map view, and that shows you a map of the United States. Kind of like, it almost looks like a Google map, basically. And then you can kind of zoom in and you can zoom out all around. I'm just looking here all around the United States, and the pins are still dropping as I'm speaking. I mean, they're just everywhere. Usually there's going to be a chapter. Now, it may not be right in your town, but usually there's a chapter within about an hour to 2 hours away from you, which is really cool because there's all kinds of people. And if you don't have a chapter near you, start one up. You can always start your own chapter, so which is really cool. They've got all the information about how to do that. And multi-GP is all AMA as well. So what AMA is I hope I don't say this wrong, the Aeronautics Modelers Association, I think. I have an AMA membership too, but I can't remember the acronym anyway. But yeah, so it's great. You can definitely check them out. It's a good source. So, all right, well, we're just past 30 minutes here, guys. Usually that's how long my live streams are. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down this live stream for today. Like I said, I've got to get some things done today, and my wife's birthday is this weekend. So I'm going to let you guys go for now. So if I missed your comment or you have a question for me, definitely go ahead and put that down in the comments below, and I will try and get to that when I can. And thank you guys, as always, for all of the comments, all of the support. And if you can support the channel, if you want to become a patron, I will leave a link down below after the video, and you guys can check that out. And definitely, if you want to help support the channel out, you don't have to. It's free, but it does help me to get more things to review for you guys and do more giveaways and things like that. So yeah, so that's all I've got again for today's video, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I very much appreciate it, guys. And as always, guys, let's keep our drones up in the air and flying high, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. Have an awesome day. Talk to you later.